Last weekend you had to travel by train. The journey was disastrous and ruined your day. You decide to write a letter of complaint to the train company, making a convincing case for a full refund. Write your letter. It's out of 20 marks. So let's look at the structure of a letter, how we're going to sell it out. So in the top right corner, you should have your address. They probably won't give you the address for you in the exam. In fact, they won't. So you've just got to make up an address. So it doesn't really matter. As long as you do street, town, county and postcode, you'll be fine. Okay. Then we would need the date. In a formal letter, say for example, if it was 6th of June 2016, we wouldn't put 6/6/16, we would write the date out in full, so 6th of June 2016. Then you need the recipient's name and address, so the address you're writing to. Again, you probably won't get it in the exam. If you do, copy it out, but if not, just use your brain. So for example, in this case, we would write to the train company and you could make up an address. Then we need the name of polite greeting. If you don't have the name of the person, put dear sir or madam. The S of sir and the M of madam should be capital letters. If you are given a name, put the name. So one thing students do wrong, if they were getting the name saying John Smith, for example, they would put dear John Smith. So it should be dear Mr. Smith with a comma. Then in our introduction, 1 or 2 sentences, you're going to explain why you're writing. Then you're going to have your first main point, your second main point and your third main point. So in the letter of complaint to a train company, the first main point could be the staff were rude, the second main point could be the train was late, and the third main point could be that the toilets were disgusting, for example. It's really important in your letter, and this is where a lot of students go wrong. They will shove 5 or 6 reasons in one big paragraph. It's all cluttered, it all looks a bit of a mess. It's really important that you do one point, go into detail on that one point. So one point about the staff being rude, write 4 or 5 sentences. Your second main point about the toilets being disgusting, write 4 or 5 sentences on that. Your third main point about the train being late, write 4 or 5 sentences on that. Okay, then you're going to do action paragraph, which is a posh name for basically the conclusion of your letter, meaning what do you want to happen from sending this letter. You don't just want them to read it and then they put it in the bin. You want an action to come from this. So this could be you want them to apologize, you want a refund, whatever. Okay, and then you're going to put yours faithfully or yours sincerely. If it's yours faithfully, you're going to have dear sir or madam. But if you put the name of the person, for example, dear Mr. Smith, you would say sincerely, and then you would just put your name at the end. Capital letters on the first and surname, obviously. You should take 2 or 3 minutes, or 1 or 2 minutes in the exam to do a plan. You won't technically get a mark in the exam for doing a plan. However, every exam I see, they tend to give it a mark. So even though it's not in the rules, the examiner sees that because you're planning it, you're thinking about it, they tend to give you a mark. Okay, so you're not going to be writing down loads and loads in the plan. You're just going to write down 4 or 5 bullet points and the main points that you're going to talk about. So talking about my letter of complaint, I'm just going to put number 1, the addresses, that I need to write both addresses. Number 2, I'm going to say my first paragraph is going to be why I'm writing. And then I'm just going to put down the main points per paragraph. So first of all, I'm going to say my first main point of my complaint is that they put me in the wrong seat. My second main point is that the train was really messy. And my third main point is that the train was really loud. I'm not writing all of these in one paragraph. I'm going to do one paragraph for the wrong seat, 1 paragraph for the messy train, and 1 paragraph for how loud it was. And then my last paragraph is just going to be I want a refund, and that's how I'm going to leave the letter. So again, the plan is not a paragraph, it's not loads of things, it's just 6 bullet points telling me what order I'm going to do my letter in. If we look at the structure that we looked at a second ago, but this time I've put my letter in the middle of it. So writer's address was 10 Christchurch Road, then I had their address that I made up, then I had the date, so I didn't have 10th for the 4th 17, I had 10th of April 2017 because it's a formal letter. Then I wasn't given a name in the question, so I'm going to put dear sir or madam. Then I'm saying why I'm writing, because at my disgust at the journey I want a refund. Then I did 4 or 5 sentences on my first main point, which was that I booked a train ticket in a particular seat and they didn't give me the right one. Then again I'm going to do 4 or 5 sentences on my second main point, which is that the train was really messy. Then again I'm going to do 4 or 5 sentences on my third main point, was that the train was meant to be quiet, but it was really, really loud. And then in my action paragraph, I'm saying that I want a full refund. That's what I want to happen from this letter. Then because I did Dear Sir or Madam, I put yours faithfully, and then I did my name. Really, really simple. Okay, so if you want a copy of this, have a look on bpcenglish.wordpress.com, and you get a copy of this structure and the PowerPoint.